Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the 5 greatest Prokofiev conductors. Yeah, Prokofiev is a thing too, and some conductors have specialized in playing his music with particular excitement and point and sympathy, and here they are. And there are probably a few more you may want to add to the list, but these are the 5. At least as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you ready? Let's start. Gennady Rozhdestvensky. It doesn't come up a lot when we talk about Prokofiev because most of his recordings were made for Melodia, and so they've been patchily available. One of the most impressive series he did was this one, which I just have sitting here. For some reason, Prokofiev seems to be surrounding me. The ballets. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You've got the Stoneflower, the Steel Step, the Prodigal Son, Cinderella, On the Dnieper, Shu, and Romeo and Juliet. I think it's just about all of them. And these are wonderful performances. Absolutely wonderful. They were reboxed in a deluxe Prokofiev ballet edition, which we talked about. But Rozhdestvensky did more than this. He also did all the symphonies, extremely sympathetically and powerfully, and those were also available on Melodia and licensed to various other labels. God knows where they are now, or if you can even find them. But he's definitely a guy whose name you should consider if you can find him in association with Prokofiev. Next, Michail Jurowski. Now, there are lots of Jurowskis floating around, but Michail did a series of, again, the Prokofiev ballets. A wonderful series, and some other things too, for labels like Capriccio and CPO. They were with German radio orchestras, so they weren't the most visible or the most widely distributed performances, but they're all fabulous. And I remember particularly when his Cinderella complete ballet came out, because back in those days we had the Cinderella Wars. There was Previn's EMI version, and there was Ashkenazy's Cleveland version, and they are both excellent. They are really, really good. But Jurowski seemed to combine the best of both worlds. He gave you sort of the precision of the Cleveland Ashkenazi with the warmth of the Previn LSO. I mean, this is all very general and sort of vaporous terminology, I understand. But boy, oh boy, are those fine performances. Really, and there's a whole series of them. I've got them sitting right over there, actually. And I turn to them regularly. If you want the Prokofiev ballets, especially the less listened to ones, this is a wonderful, wonderful series that's worth listening to. Third, well, I mean, this one should be obvious. Eugene Ormandy, of course. He did a large selection of Prokofiev symphonies when nobody else was touching them. He did the 4th, he did the 6th, he did, that was really cool. He didn't do 2 and 3 because they were like too crazy for him, I think. He did the 5th a couple of times. Good performances, not the best, but his really great Prokofiev recording is the Classical Symphony with suites from Lieutenant Kijé and The Love for Three Oranges. That is one of the greatest records of anything ever made. The Philadelphia Orchestra firing on all cylinders, and Ormandy totally at one with the music. It's a glorious, glorious recording, and it got no attention at all. It was released on CBS's Odyssey, or repackaged on Odyssey CD for cheapy price, and then it disappeared very, very quickly. Of course, all of this stuff is in the big Ormandy boxes now, so you could actually hear them if you got the big Ormandy boxes. But gosh, his Prokofiev is fine. Japanese Sony released an album of all of his Prokofiev recordings, including like the 7th, which I think was in mono, the 7th Symphony. But Prokofiev was perfect for Ormandy in Philadelphia. He really was, especially in his more romantic mode. And Ormandy did a really fine Alexander Nevsky, which is recorded in very, very strange sound by RCA, with the mallet percussion, glockenspiel and xylophone, sort of having its own presence at the front of the orchestra, which was not a good idea. But maybe it'll get remastered some year and we can hear what it really sounds like. In any case, Prokofiev is a fantastic vehicle for Ormandy and the Philadelphians to strut their stuff. Next, Theodore Kuchar. Kuchar and the Ukrainians. Prokofiev was actually Ukrainian, believe it or not. He was. And Kuchar did a huge series of Prokofiev recordings for Naxos that get very, very little attention. In fact, they are sitting right there, actually. There's a very large box of Prokofiev orchestral and other music. His symphony cycle is as good as any. The fifth is fantastic. And those are performances that really deserve to be heard. Nowadays, of course, these Naxos boxes seem to have disappeared. So I'm not sure if it's even still available. But the performances are certainly available on Naxos, and they're well worth listening to. It just goes to show what a great conductor can do with an orchestra that's not one of the top-tier ensembles, but plays with heart and with real affection for the music, especially under this conductor. Kuchar never made a bad record. He's a fine conductor, and his Prokofiev is excellent. It's one of the great symphony cycles. It really is. It's right up there with our recommended final reference version, Neeme Järvi. Järvi has done such great work for Prokofiev, and it is a crime that Chandos, which has all of it, doesn't stuff it all in a box and do a Prokofiev edition, or a Prokofiev edition with at least with Järvi. I mean, my God, it's good. He's got the ultimate Prokofiev symphony cycle. It's just thrilling beyond words. He's done the Romeo and Juliet suites. He's done all the weird stuff, suites and toned poems and other miscellaneous orchestral works, Winter Bonfire and, all these socialist realist pieces. They're just fantastic. He did the crazy, the revolutionary cantata, which has Rozhdestvensky actually as the voice of Stalin. I mean, it's just so much fun. His Chandos recordings are magnificent. His Nevsky was fabulous. Järvi has done amazing stuff in Prokofiev, and there is nobody better. And the sonics are glorious, and he's got the Scottish National Orchestra playing like demons in most of it. It's just tremendous. So, he did the piano concertos too. It's all there. So give Järvi's Prokofiev a listen if you haven't. You'll really enrich your collection, and I think gain a renewed appreciation and love for the composer, who wrote lots of really good music that we don't listen to very often. He really did. So there you go. Those are the 5 greatest Prokofiev conductors. And if you have a few that you'd like to add, feel free. Toss them in the mix and keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.